It's April 2022, and I'm traveling to the Deschutes River State Recreation Area. This state park is located about 100 miles east of Portland, Oregon. Most of my driving for this trip is on Interstate 84. Here, I'm on Interstate 84, just a few miles from my destination. You can see the Columbia River off to the left. At this point, I just got off of Interstate 84 and onto Oregon Route 206, which in this region runs parallel to Interstate 84, and it also goes by the entrance to the Deschutes River Recreation Area. Right now, I'm crossing the bridge over the Deschutes River and headed towards the park entrance, which is on the east side of the river. The Deschutes River is very popular for fishing and for whitewater rafting. The state park is also the trailhead for one end of the Deschutes River Trail, and the trail is the main reason that I've come to the state park. This area can be very hot during the summer. If you're interested in hiking or biking the Deschutes River Trail, the spring or the fall are good times to visit this area.
In 400 feet, turn right onto a loop. Take the next right onto a loop, then turn left.
As I enter the campground, I'm driving past some of the campsites in the A-Loop. The A-Loop contains more than 30 individual campsites.
Take the next right onto a loop, then turn left.
Turning right, I'm headed west towards the Deschutes River. A number of the campsites on the west side of the A-Loop are immediately adjacent to the river. I'm going to head out on my e-bike to ride the Deschutes River Trail. Although my e-bike is somewhat heavy, weighing more than 50 pounds, it's relatively easy for me to load and unload my bike from the bike rack. This is because the bike rack has a ramp which allows me to simply roll the bike onto or off of the bike rack. To get to the trailhead for the Deschutes River Trail, I ride back towards the park entrance. This trail is located on the site of an old railroad line that was built by the Deschutes Railroad Company starting in 1906. The goal was to provide railroad service to the lumber mills in the area around Bend, Oregon. By the early 1900s, Central Oregon was one of the last large places in the United States that did not have a railroad line. As railroads were particularly important for commerce and the daily lives of rural America, this offered a big opportunity to whoever could build a railroad line going to Central Oregon. The Deschutes River Canyon provided one possible route for building a railroad that avoided the big mountains of the Cascades. Although routing a railroad down the canyon of the Deschutes avoided big mountains, there were still many challenges. In particular, it required blasting a route along the rocky cliffs lining the canyon. Interestingly, two different companies began competing to build railway lines in the Deschutes Canyon. The Deschutes Railroad Company set out to build a railway line on the east bank of the river. The Oregon Trunk Railway set out to build a rail line on the other side, on the west bank of the river. Because it was anticipated that the rewards would be high for the first company to complete the railroad line into Central Oregon, the competition was fierce and sometimes even violent. This led to a description of the conflict as the Deschutes Canyon War. Eventually, reason prevailed, allowing joint operation of the railroad by both companies. This involved using sections of the track that each company had built. At the north end of the line, near the Columbia River, the route used the tracks on the west side of the river. This meant that the route that was built on the east side of the river was abandoned. Fortunately, this was later used to build the Deschutes River Trail, providing hikers and bikers access to the beautiful lower Deschutes River Canyon. close this video with a lovely sunset at the Deschutes River Campground.